today. Friends and family in the audiences, and we've got a very special day today. Just to tell you a little bit about why we are here, in 2018 we started partnering with the IFI. We were able to bring fabulous projects.
Here, actually, what I really wanted to say is I would call the event today more of a family gathering. This is the word I wanted to use. I only arrived in India, for you to know, 3 months ago, and Serendipity was exactly the first partner that I met on my arrival, going on installations, performances, and it was very enthusiastic for everybody. What a real pleasure to find today those young artists also here in the festival. And I think it's a good example of the cyclic approach of Serendipity, in the way you partner with the artists and in the way you do your art and cultural project. I have immediately cherished when hearing Smithy about her vision and day-to-day management and her concern to support emerging artists on the long term and introduce them to a professional audience. Whether it's the young laureates of the art residency program or the photographers who took part in the first edition of the All and Serendipity grant in France this summer, she's always looking to push it further and give them the best training and experience, evaluating the different settings. So just to give you an example, the kind of question that we share day to day, that should the artists stay longer and with different people? Should they practice and discover this kind of technique or work on this kind of material? So we are really going, I think, very deep in all of this, and today is special to me in that way. I understood very soon that this maturity in Serendipity was the result of a long and hard work, which friends had been following for a long time, actually. Whether it was inviting high-profile French artists like Sophie Calle, or performers like Floyd Cauchy, Olivier de Sagazan, or welcoming some major institutional collaborations with Musée d'Art Moderne de Paris, or Rencontre d'Art, as I already mentioned, Jeux de Paume, and now CNAP, Centre National des Arts Plastiques, so National Center for Visual Arts in France, if I could translate. Serendipity has always considered the project within a 360-degree approach and dimension, and paid very particular attention to its impact on the community. And I'm very thankful for that. I just would like to thank last, of course, the artists. Some of them are here today, but also other people, and mainly curators, who have been key to this history and mutual partnership for years. So I start with Smithy, maybe, because you've been traveling to France a lot. Some of the travels were sponsored and you got some help from the French Institute. And we see today the results. We can be very proud of it because it's the kind of, when you sponsor somebody or a curator to travel and to go abroad and meet some artists, it's not something that is really visible in the way you can advertise this partnership. But we see the result today, and we see how useful and how interesting it was for you, because the Ranulus exhibition that you have downstairs on the ground floor is the exact result of this. You were all in all this summer, you got to meet with the CNAP team and to talk about this project, and now it is. It's in Goa, like a few months after. We could have done that. I'm so happy. So I would just like to say once again, thank you very much. We look to continue this partnership and to make it grow, of course. This is where we are here today, and now we'll pass to Emmanuel Lebrun-Damien, who is our cultural counselor and director of the French Institute, who will tell you a few words about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Amandine. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour. I'm delighted to be here, and my first word would be a word of congratulations to Serendipity Arts Foundation, its founder, its director. We've been here for 2 days. We had the opportunity, the chance to visit the exhibitions yesterday, and it is stunning. Once again, Serendipity Arts Festival impacts the world of contemporary art. Visitors here can see top-notch presentations, some of the most interesting artists in the world. So congratulations for that. It's a real pleasure to be here. As Amandine explained, we have been working very closely together in the last years, essentially on 3 programs. I want to re-mention them. The first one is the invitation of French artists to the festival. This year we have 12. They are here, and they are amazing artists, and I really encourage everyone to go and see their work. Then we jointly invite Indian artists to the Cité Internationale des Arts in Paris, and we also invite Indian photographers chosen with Serendipity to the Rencontre d'Arles through the SAF Art Discovery Grant. So today is an important day because we are adding another topic for cooperation in the framework of the creation of the Bridge Museum, which was launched yesterday. Congratulations, that's really a very exciting news. And with this framework, Serendipity Arts Foundation makes us the great honor to ask us to be a knowledge and programming partner. So it's all these partnerships and our joint willingness to scale up our collaboration and frame the long term that lead to the signature of this agreement between the French Institute and the Serendipity Arts Foundation. Through this agreement, we look forward to sending more French artists to India and Indian artists to France, but also to sharing expertise on the making of tomorrow's world in terms of creation and cultural management in the field of contemporary art. So I listened to your speech yesterday and I realized that there is a reason why this partnership with you is to us. We share the same dedication, I would like to say the same activism for access to art and culture. You know, it has been in the DNA of French cultural policy for decades. When the French government at the end of the 50s created a Ministry of Culture, and we were among the first in the world to do that, it was to increase access to culture. And many individuals, many private initiatives happened at the same time. And artists created large-scale festivals, like Avignon, for example, for theatre, in order to allow every citizen to access the best artists and the most contemporary creation. And you're dedicated to that. So we are, and so it's really a natural partnership that we have together. We strongly believe that it is our responsibility, and you do it perfectly here in India, so we want to partner with you on that. So concretely, what does it mean for the future? What are the consequences of this agreement? It means that we will work together to introduce even more relationships with French cultural institutions, art companies and museums. We will work together to strengthen arts and education networks. We will be looking to expertise sharing, learn from each other, between Serendipity and all these French institutions. And we would like also to share relevant research, for example, on how culture can contribute to the economic growth of a city, a state, or a country. So, you know, our goal, I'm the director of the French Institute in India, and our goal is to develop people-to-people relations through culture, science and education. And there's no quality bilateral relation between two countries if you don't have exchanges at every level, students, academics and artists. And sometimes, as you said it yesterday, there's no only exchanges with pairs, but you also have to open up the dialogue and create interactions between different players from various fields. Help a musician interact with dancers, or visual artists with craftsmen, a street artist with a sound designer, a chef with a writer, etc. And there are so many possible combinations. So we want to explore that further and create new encounters. I was particularly happy to hear you yesterday saying that arts and crafts would be one of your priorities at the Bridge, because it is also for us. And the talent in arts and crafts in India is just astonishing. And many French people who work in this field, but also fashion designers, would like to and work with all these talented people. So in a nutshell, this agreement that we are signing aims to develop long-standing ties between artistic communities in France and India, and we are really very honored and proud to partner with the Serendipity Arts Foundation in this endeavor. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Emmanuel. You made my job both more difficult and easier because you stole all my lines. That's what I was going to talk about. But more seriously, a big thank you. I think this partnership is not just between countries or institutions. This is a partnership between people. Because one of the things that we have focused on for some years now is to encourage and grow individual creativity, capacity, and capabilities. And the creative energy that is released is what has allowed this as a festival in a short period of just a few years to become amongst the largest in the world. We now, as you know, since both of you have been around a little bit, we now have visitors and artists from many parts of the world. At the same time, we want to ensure that for people around us, it is complete access, so everyone is welcome. As far as the art forms are concerned, we don't want to put a boundary or a constraint on ourselves, which is why you see something which is as diversified if you go around. And the idea to encourage performing arts, visual arts, culinary arts, and performance arts together is not new. It's new for recent times in India, but if you go back in history, which is the way arts were practiced, which is the way arts were taught and learned. And that's what we are attempting to do. And more than anything else, we're trying to build this as a neutral platform which encourages and benefits from multiple partnerships. And this is a very valuable partnership for us. Over the years, we have built many friends in France. I see some of them here right now with us. And it's not just the 12 at the back. I'm told last night there were 25 of you in the evening, and I said, I don't see the French here. Somebody picked up the hand and said there are 25 of us here right now. So for us to make the announcement of the bridge in the presence of so many friends and family, and you like the word you use quite a bit, for us this is a large extended family, which is also why we want to use this as a bridge for India to the world, for India to the neighborhood, for people to people, for culture to culture, for different art forms, for different educational streams. And you're absolutely right that the residencies that we run already are multidisciplinary in themselves. And I think that's what's allowed us to enrich the offering and has attracted the kind of talent. And I think we are kind of blessed. There's somebody upstairs looking after us. Because this happened almost in a magical manner in such a short time. I think Sophie was here 3 years ago, in 2018. So it's literally just 4 years back that we had some of your top artists here, and from there to come where we are. And we did not sit back with despondence when the pandemic hit. We actually got off our feet and said, let's do something, both for the art world and for the artists, because they actually suffered more than most. People stopped traveling, but also people stopped going to see an art show or to see a dance performance. And so some of the ideas of the virtual festival actually came from there. To be able to constantly be pushing the boundary to see what you can do. The partnership we did with Arts Photo, I think was an absolute delight. I'm told now we have the largest grant in Asia, is it? We are the largest photography run in Asia that we both of us run together. And it was an absolute pleasure to be in Arms during the festival with 10 of our artists, including one of them getting the first prize. And I can tell you, it completely transformed their lives. The gentleman who won the first prize did not have a bicycle to go to school. He was telling us he used to walk many miles to get to school. And for him to be in the midst of some of the top experts and professionals from the world of art, culture and photography and to get recognized, I think it's a game changer. So I do think this partnership can be a multiplier for many artists, certainly for the arts, and as I said, eventually build this human bridge that we are attempting to build across many cultures, many time zones. That's the other challenge we have. But we look at this as an opportunity. We work in 24 hours. Since our partnerships hopefully will extend over a period of time across the globe. But you come from a country where design, culture, art is almost in the DNA. You are known as a nation which is artistic, where cuisine is fantastic, where fashion is form rather than just an exception. So thank you very much. Thank you to the French Institute, and thank you to the many friends that we have made in France, both new and old. Some of them I see here. And thank you to the embassy in India, which has been very, very supportive. And please convey a thank you to the other Emmanuel as well, since the ambassador was unable to make it. But I think we got a better standing. So, but you are the focal point for us, more seriously. And I think it is actually in some ways even more appropriate, because you are the single individual between the two of you responsible for the cultural exchange and interaction. And for us, that is truly valuable. So big thank you. And thank you all. The audience, by the way, I should tell you, we have some amazing individuals, not just the French delegation, I'm also talking about the delegation that has walked in from India, serious cultural promoters, collectors, director of Asia Institute. So thank you, Sanita, and the rest of you for coming in and joining us here. And that's what we are attempting to do. That is the serendipity that we are actually constantly promoting. And it was by chance. Sanita actually was supposed to come in and go for a different event right now. And when she called, I said, I'm going here now, please come along. And here we are. So let's continue to hope for many more happy coincidences and many more organized ones as well. Thank you very much. For those of you who were not here last evening, the bridge is actually the name of the new institution that we formally announced last evening, which is an arts and culture institution, a unique arts and culture institution for 14 institutions at one place. So, thank you all very much.